So the other day I celebrated Earth Day. Now, I'm very appreciative of this planet that I live in. I'm very respectful of the planet that was birthed when Mars took its tiny red penis, had sex with Venus, and then 9 months later out popped Earth. Yes, I'm a world historian on top of being a YouTube superstar. You're welcome for the wealth of information I provide you guys. Anyway, I like this planet. It's pretty cool. It's like, you know, some parts are green and blue and some parts look like plasma televisions that sit on my nightstand at the end of my bed. But anyway, this place is pretty nice and I'm thankful for this planet, and I don't know how we can't just all like, you know, step back and say, world, I want to give to you or make you look better or something. I don't know. Anyway, I was stumbling home the other night. It was like 2 in the morning. I was coming from the titty bar again as usual, and I noticed on my street, and first I looked down, I'm like, whoa, it's 2 a.m. That means it's like totally the future, it's the next day, and I realized I never have a watch on, and I'm like, oh, I'm coming home because the bar kicked me out. Anyway, I noticed that everyone on the street had their little recycling buckets out, and I'm like, you know, since it's Earth Day, since it's now the future, it's the Earth Day, I'm going to go ahead and give back to the earth. I'm going to take these recyclables and return them to the earth in spectacular fashion. So what made the most sense at that time was to take everyone's recyclable buckets and just dump them on the end of the street. And it's a dead-end street, so I kind of just put it on the one end so, like, you know, if anyone wanted to see the nice gesture that I was doing, they could just, you know, look out and see it. Anyway, I dumped everyone's recyclables on the end of the street. And I just said, you know what, it's time to return this to Mother Earth. So I did the best thing I could do, which was return it to the Earth's atmosphere, and I did that by just lighting it all on fire. Now, for the most part, was very pleased with the fire. I mean, the cardboard, the newspapers, like the old boxes and shit, that all burned up. I didn't realize glass and tin cans don't burn. Like, there's all sorts of like glass jars and like tuna fish cans that are just in a charred mess, and all the neighbors are coming out like, what the hell was that? There's a huge fire, what's going on? And I'm just like, calm down, calm down. It's Earth Day. I'm just doing my part for the earth. I took care of everyone's recyclables on the street. You're welcome. And they're like, oh, this is terrible. No, there's a burned mess of a pile there. We can't get our cars out. We got to go to work in the morning. What the hell are we going to do? And I'm like, all right, well, it's Earth Day and all, maybe you should grab a broom and help clean the planet. I mean, hello, I forgot this was Archfiend's Day to clean the planet. It's Earth Day. Stop being such pricks. So anyway, pissed and moaned for about 10 minutes, and I eventually got my way. So I went inside, I was standing up in my second floor window, looking out the bedroom at them, sweeping up and like, ha ha ha, you're cleaning up the mess that I made. But anyway, they were cleaning up, so it was nice. I got the whole neighborhood involved in an Earth Day activity. I know, I should be given an award of some sort of accommodation. The Emperor of Pennsylvania should give me like a medallion or like a free cheeseburger from McDonald's or something. By the way, I'm vegetarian, I wouldn't eat the cheeseburger, but it'd be nice to get it nonetheless. Anyway, I took part in this Earth Day activity and I felt great getting my local community involved. And another way that you can get involved in the community here is they keep sending out these little mailers, like, it's just, I don't know, they're just creating more trash as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, it says, like, you know, bring a bag of recyclables down to the recreation center and they'll give you one of those, what's called a flower scent bulb. I don't know, it's like false advertising because the things never smell like flour, but it's got like a little curly thing and it lights up and you put it in and replace your incandescent bulbs with it. Anyway, I have just lamps out the ass, especially in my bedroom. There's at least 10 to 12 lamps that are on at all times. Now, they've all got those 120 watt bulbs in them, which just really gets the room hot as shit. It feels great in the wintertime. But in the summertime, I just let the illegal immigrants I have that serve as day laborers staying here. I mean, they're used to working outside all day, so, you know, a little 200-degree bedroom heat shouldn't do much worse to them. But anyway, that's a whole different story for a different time. Anyway, I got my neighbor's recyclables. Now, like I said, I wasn't out there to sweep that shit up. Anyway, I took my neighbor's recyclables, like it was just a charred mess and just burned shit everywhere, and I took it down to the recycling center and I'm like, here you go, I want my flower scent bulb. And they're like, what the hell is this? There's smoke coming out of it, the jars are demented, like what the hell is going on here? And I'm like, whoa, I didn't realize this was the archfiend execution here on my own trial. I wasn't aware that I lived in the 8th century and the Inquisition was going on, because it happened in the 8th century. Look it up. You'll be surprised to know that I'm right. Anyway. Was it? Anyway. I'm like, stop busting my balls and give me my flower scent bulb. So they're like, fine, whatever, you brought it in, here's your flower scent bulb. So I took the flower scent bulb home, I went into my bedroom, and I picked the most important lamp in my room to put this flower scent bulb in. And that was the lamp right next to my bed, right next to my beat-off computer that I look at lesbian porn on. Like, this is a lamp that I need to see where my tissues are, where lubrication is, like, you know, the important stuff. Was that too much information? I don't care, I share everything here with you guys. That's how I roll. Anyway, I took the lampshade off, it's like all bright and shit, and I reached down to take the bulb out, I went, ow! It's hot as shit, and ow! It burned me twice. The light bulb went out, and the light bulb's not coming out, like tugging on the light bulb, it's like stuck in the lamp. It's like permanently part of the lamp, and I'm like, what the hell? I gave it 2 full half twists. You know, I'm like, oh, what am I supposed to be in my bedroom looking like a jerk, going like this all day? I want to be going like this all day. Anyway, the stupid bulb wouldn't work, the lamp was worthless, and I was furious. So I went downstairs, and one of the other ridiculous things that my town does is they give everyone a tree for like the week before Earth Day or some shit, and you're supposed to like plant it in your yard and like get a bunch of hippies and dance around it in a circle, like, you know, the usual thing you do when you plant a tree in your yard. And I'm like, you know what? I got a better idea for this tree. I'm going to take this tree, I'm going to put it up in my bedroom. Now, you know, it's a small little tree. It's like a little sapling, like 4 or 5 feet tall. It's got the little burlap sack with the roots in it and everything. And I know what you guys are saying. You're like, oh, archfiend. A tree isn't going to grow in a house, especially a bedroom. And I'm like, no shit, Sherlock. That's why I took that tree, I grabbed like a baseball bat, and I just beat the shit out of that lamp. I just smashed that lamp into oblivion. So it was like laying there in pieces. And I stood over that lamp that was giving me problems. And I stood there as a proud American man, and I just said, huh, Earth Day 0. Man won. And I went, yeah! And I looked around and I was like, no one was there to enjoy that line. So I just laid down and beat off to some lesbian porn. Some really good lesbian porn, by the way. Anyway, one of the other bright ideas I got, and feel free to use this idea, I just, you know, I stunned myself with my acts of just pure genius, and this is one of them. When I was out and I was, you know, burning everyone's recyclables, I noticed that my neighbor, next door neighbor, had molasses jars. And I went out there and I saw that, you know, in the pile of soot and shit, he still had the molasses jars in there. And I was like, you know, I think I can have a secondary purpose for these jars. So I had this big tub of oil. It's in my garage. Now, I've owned a car for 8 years, so there's a lot of oil in there because over 8 years of usage, I've changed the oil in my car twice, because you're supposed to change it every 30,000 miles. You know, on top of being a very responsible environmental citizen on this planet, I'm a very responsible car owner. So there was like, you know, 2 carfuls of oil that was in there, and I mean, it was a hassle anyway to keep it in my garage, because every now and then, like, cats would come in and, like, bathe in it, and it stunk, and I'm just like, you know, I should really get rid of this oil anyway. So I took the molasses jars, and the oil was about the same consistency as molasses, so I put it in the molasses jars, I screwed on the caps, I made, like, fake labels for it, and I just sold this shit on eBay for $50 a jar. Now, I was like, oh, I'm sure someone will buy it. I put it under the title of, like, you know, some hippie trendster molasses that's like for real sophisticated people, and some dumbass in Alabama, no offense to anyone from Alabama, but there's some dumbass in Alabama that bought all the jars of it from me. Now, I don't give a shit if he didn't like it, because frankly, he gave me the money already, and that money's already down a hooker's G-string. But besides that, actually it should be a stripper's G-string. Sorry, I got confused. I go to hookers and strippers so much, I get them messed up. Anyway, the guy buys my molasses and he like writes me back on my eBay account. He's like, oh, this stuff tastes terrible. It stinks. It got near an open flame and burned down my kitchen and set fire to the rest of my house. And I'm like, whoa, don't blast me. Don't put me on full blast, dude, just because your taste buds aren't sophisticated enough to appreciate the fine taste of hippie Trendster molasses. And he's like, that's bullshit, I'm suing you, I have no house left. And at that point I'm just like, no habla inglés, no habla inglés. And if you do that enough to someone, they will just eventually ignore you, I think. Anyway. That's just one of the many things I did for Earth Day the other day, and you too, as good environmental citizens, should do your part for the Earth, and you should, share ideas with other people about what you did for Earth Day to make this a wonderful planet, make this planet even more wonderful, because this is the only Earth we got and we can't neglect it. And that concludes my story of what I did the other day for Earth Day.
How can you be celebrating Earth Day the other day when Earth Day is today?
How was I supposed to know today was Earth Day?
How are you supposed to know? I told you about this weeks ago. That's all I've been talking about the past month. I was out all day cleaning up streams, planting trees, I saved a baby squirrel, and I helped baby birds fly today. And what do? I come home and you were sleeping in bed till 3 in the afternoon?
Oh. Well, we can do all that next year, baby.
Well, actually Earth Day is supposed to be every day, so tomorrow we can just go and do some more stuff like that. And why are you staying in the bathroom making a video? And is that a box of Thin Mints you're keeping in the bathroom? That's so disgusting.